How does it compare to the last place?
Dang.
Can I compare this one to the two projects? No.
Yo, what is good, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. It's your man Mohamed Camara, and you already know what time it is, man. Today I got a little bit of a different video. You know, if you're new to this channel, I'm usually doing tutorials on dropshipping and how to make money online as an e-commerce entrepreneur. In the last video, I talked about the top 10 dropshipping mistakes that you should absolutely avoid that can cost you your business. But in this video, I got something different for y'all. I just want to explain how I was able to buy my mom a house. Really one of the biggest achievements that I've had in my life personally. And I've been real hesitant to kind of put this information out there, especially on the internet. But I feel like it's definitely worth it for inspirational purposes. So you guys know that, yo, this dropshipping thing could lead to a lot of other accomplishments and, you know, financial freedom and just a good well-being for you and your family. You know what I'm saying? But before we get into that, of course, I'm gonna do a giveaway. Drop a comment down below, hashtag Money Mafia. Okay, leave a hashtag Money Mafia plus whatever comment you have, and I will enter you into a giveaway to be mentored by myself. So I'll be giving one lucky person a free chance to enter Ecom Bootcamp 2.0 absolutely free. All you have to do is like the video, subscribe, and comment down below with the hashtag Money Mafia. I'll pick one lucky person and I'll announce that on my Instagram. But without further ado, let's get into this video, man. I want to give y'all sort of a background kind of story of my family, where we come from, and a little bit so you can kind of understand how this whole thing came about. Because yes, of course, we lived in the projects pretty much my whole life. For over 20 years living in the projects. Is really hard to kind of see what life is like outside of that, when that's all you know. And that's, you know, you grow up there, you go to school, you come back to the projects, you go to college, you come back to the projects, and you just kind of always reminded that this is where you live, this is where you're from, and you don't have the rights to own any property there. A little bit about my family, you know, we're a large family. I have like 5 other siblings, so older brother, older sister, and 3 younger brothers. You know, but really the focus is on my parents. Like, my parents came here very hungry, very ambitious as young, you know, immigrants, first time ever, you know, traveling across the country or whatever, and they chose to come to the US to build a life, to build a family, and live that African American dream. You know, they were very focused on making money, but the living situation if you was to compare the living situation in the projects in the US back to the living situation in Africa, the projects seem like a mansion. Like, the projects seem like that's the end all be all for what you can achieve for your home. I got to see, like, okay, I'm grateful to be in the US and to even have a house and a roof over my head. I'm grateful for that, but I knew that that wasn't the ceiling. I hated the fact that I grew up somewhere where I didn't own any of the property. All the rent that was being paid and for the past 20 plus years went to somebody else, to make somebody else profitable. That was really one of my biggest motivations when I started like drop shipping, doing e-commerce, and actually made a lot of money. That was like, you know what, one of the first things that I want to do, yes, of course, I want to take care of myself. I want to buy myself the nice car. I want to buy myself, you know, the nicest things and get the nice apartment. But another thing was to buy a home, a place that I could call home. And I'm proud to say that, you know, after years and years of hard work, turning 400 to over 1.3 million with my online stores, I was able to actually purchase a home for my mom worth over $500,000. Like, it's crazy to think about that. What's good, everybody? Today I'm actually headed to my mom's crib. You know, I'm gonna spend the night over there, cause it still hasn't hit me. It hasn't hit me yet that, you know, that we bought a house. You know, it just hasn't hit yet. So I'm gonna head over there. You know, I'll show y'all what it looked like from the inside or whatever. Yeah, I just want to put this video out. I'm not even the type to put shit like this out, but a lot of y'all been asking questions like, yo, why have you been, you know, MIA from YouTube? And it's just because I had to get some shit done. I had to really sit back and have an introspective year. It's like, that's just where my life has brought me to at this point in time. You know what I'm saying? Like, I just had to take a step back and to myself, like, what is it that's gonna give me fulfillment? You know, I'm always the type to help everybody else, but, you know, put myself secondary. And I just figured, you know, maybe I just gotta be a little selfish here. So here we are. Here we are, man. We pulling up right now. This is the crib. There you go. Whew. Oh yeah, and you know that's her car too. I had to buy her a brand new whip, brand new Audi. You know, it was only right to buy her a new whip because now she finally got somewhere to park it. So let's see what's up, man. Let's see what's going on inside. Just so y'all know the type of living conditions that I'm talking about, like for all of you who are familiar with this, you know, I come from Harlem, right? So it's really set up to where, you know, there's a cyclic cycle of just, you know, you grow up in the projects, you live in the projects, you die in the projects. That's just the routine cycle of living in the project. Subconsciously, it makes you think like, this is just the best of what I'm gonna get. This is who I am, and this is what I have to settle for because it's so hard to get out. When you look at it from the outside in, I didn't really realize this when I was living there, but it's such a bad predicament to live in because the hallways are shaped like you're living in a prison. It looks like cell blocks as you're walking through the hallway. The size of our living room right now in this new home that I purchased is like the size of the whole apartment where a family of 8 people were living. The walls were being run down, right? Like the walls had mold in it. The bathroom was like, it was just one bathroom, and I would remember having to make a line in the morning before going to school just to get take a decent shower, just to brush our teeth and get ready for school. It's like, it's a very demeaning quality of life. And that's one thing that I really didn't and that gave me a lot of hunger. When I started traveling and hitting up different countries, I started seeing that, life is a lot bigger than just this block that I'm living on. That was really my motivation. So a lot of y'all ask me like, what's your motivation? How are you able to build a business to over $1 million, you know, as a broke dude just living in the projects? That, trust me, like if you're coming from the conditions that I came from, that's plenty of motivation right there. Just woke up in a new crib. You know, gonna let my little man run around a little bit. Got some nice backyard space. It's the backyard. Shed right there. You know, that's the house. So that's the basement right here. That's like the main floor with like the living room and everything. And then there's one more floor on top. So it's crazy, man. 3 stories. Pretty much. It's like the dream home, man. This is crazy. It's been a few months and like it still really hasn't hit me that I bought my mom a house, her dream house. Over $500,000 worth of value. And let me just give y'all a quick walk around. Midas. Only thing is, there's a lot of bugs out here, man. But I'll take bugs over a rat-infested 3-bedroom apartment any day. So, that's just a little bit on that. There y'all go. Y'all already know who that is right there. I already know who that is. All my bullshit. And, you know, I had to get the hoop and all that. But yeah, we've actually been getting very used to the new neighborhood. This is how the crib looked from the front. Like, this is, it's still hard to believe, man. It's still hard to believe. This is us. Say hi to YouTube.
Hi, YouTube.
Let's give you a nice little walkthrough what we have so far. You feel me?
What is that? That's a new car?
Nah, vlog. Here, let go. Now, there was a point in time where I was living in Atlanta. I had randomly just packed up my bags, moved to Atlanta because I wanted the space. I wanted to be able to focus and narrow in on my business and really scale my businesses, diversify my incomes, because the focus is really hard to focus when there's nothing but distractions around. You know, it's gonna play a part in your business. So I realized when I first started making a little bit of money with my stores, packed my bags, I just upped and moved to Atlanta for a year so I can isolate and fully go in. Like I went monk mode. You know, there was a piece missing. It felt wrong that I was living, you know, freely. I was living pretty much at my own will. I got a nice apartment. I got the car of my dreams, but I knew that my mom was back home struggling, you know, working overnight hours, working just to be able to pay bills and pay rent for something that she didn't own. That really made me feel a type of way. So I spent a lot of time just building my credit, stacking up some income so that I can prepare to put a good down payment on this home. Even before I went to Atlanta, we had tried to get a home, but we were told that we didn't have a good enough credit. We had tried to get a home again the second time, but we were told that our down payment wasn't enough. So we tried the first time home buyers association, but those homes weren't as good. And we were saying, yo, instead of going from the projects to just another rundown home, we're gonna actually make it something that is worth it. That was the game plan. We put our heads down, we got to work, started rebuilding our credit as a family, and we started, you know, getting more educated on what it takes to actually buy a home. And, you know, a year after I moved to Atlanta, I moved back to New York, but I didn't move into the same apartment, into the projects. That was just a big no for me. It was now, okay, I'm gonna move into my apartment here, a nice little penthouse overlooking the city, but at the same time, in order to have that final piece of fulfillment, I wanted to buy my mom a crib. Lo and behold, it took a good 2 months from actually making an offer on the house to doing all the paperwork and actually getting the keys to the home. But the crazy thing is that she got the keys the day after her birthday. It was just a sign from God. Like it was meant to happen. It was supposed to happen this way. So it's actually been a few months since we've lived there. I mean, it's July right now, but we've had the home since September. You know, I'm proud to say that I was able to do this fully off of the efforts of e-commerce. Okay, so I want y'all to know that this whole e-commerce thing that I preach to y'all and the tutorials that I give y'all, it really opens up opportunities for you to be able to change your life. I'm not just here, you know, I'm not gonna sit here and flex a Lambo in front of you and flex all types of crazy shit. This to me is the biggest flex of it all. Yeah. There you go. Make your bet. King size bet. How you like the new home, mommy?
I love it.
Oh yeah?
Yeah.
What you love about it?
It's beautiful. More space.
Yeah?
The neighborhood is nice. You know, it's way different.
Okay.
I love it.
Yeah, and how does it compare to the last place?
Dang. Can I compare this one to the two projects? No, it's not. It's very different. Project? No.
Yeah.
This is better.
Okay.
To live here is healthy.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Brahma, what's your thoughts? What's your final thoughts?
Now I feel like I'm coming to America.
Yeah. Oh, wow.
I'm here 31 years. I didn't know I'm living in America. The first night I slept here, I felt like
doc that you guys worked on last week.
I feel like I came to America just now.
Oh wow.
You guys came up with.
After 30 years.
Yeah, I did in America 31 years. I did in America was so good.
I'm glad you like it, man. Yeah.
Look at my bathroom is like a. My bathroom is like a. My bathroom is like a somebody room. It's one room.
Yeah, this bathroom is the size of an actual bedroom. And
Can you compare this one?
in the projects. That serious. What you doing here? Get out. Get out. What you doing here? Big shouts out to my mom for always holding it down, working those overnight shifts for all those days that she didn't want to go, but she had to for the sake of her family. You know, I feel like this is the least I can do to pay her back. Big shouts out to my pops for always being there, supporting the family and making sure that we were growing up with good values and was able to actually take us on trips back home so that we were in tune with what life could have been like on the other side. You know, I'm forever grateful. I know that a lot of you, if just one person is watching this right now and you in a predicament where that I came from and you from the hood and you come from where I come from and you look how I look, I want to let you know that it is very much so possible. Like, put your head down, go to work. You have all the resources here on my channel to make this possible and happen for you and your family. So I just want to put this out there real quick to let y'all know that it is absolutely possible. Okay, dropshipping has changed my life in many ways, and this has probably been the biggest achievement of it all. Whether you decide to do the work now or later, the time is going to pass anyways. So you just get started as soon as possible and make those things happen for your family. I'm just a kid from the projects, and I want y'all to know that if I can do this, you can definitely do this too. So if you want to check out my other video called How I Turned 400 into 1.3 million using dropshipping, then check that out right here. I'll link it up here for y'all, and you can really get a good sense of how I really started the beginning of this journey. But my question is, what would you do given the situation that you're in right now? If you was to build a multi-million-dollar business in the next couple months, what would you do? How would that change your life, and who would you look out for? Like I said, if you want to enter the giveaway, go ahead and leave a comment down below, plus the hashtag Money Mafia. Okay, leave that down below. That will enter you into the giveaway so you can get a chance to be mentored by myself. Follow me on Instagram, okay, so you don't miss out on the live call where I actually announce the winner. Like I promised y'all in the last video, man, the next video is really going to talk about iOS 14 and what its effects have been on Facebook advertising and dropshipping in general. But before this video ends, make sure you check out this other video. I'm going to link it right here in front of you. Make sure you watch that. It might be super helpful for you. And you already know what time it is, man. It's your man, Mohamed Camara. Go get that bag, man. Go do what you got to do. Everything is possible out here. And remember, if you're born poor, it's not your fault. If you die poor, it's all your fault. All right? I'll catch ya. I'm gone.